The Bible, with its labyrinth of interconnected stories, stretches across time, linking the Old and New Testaments and revealing truths that go far beneath the surface readings. One particular link ties the Passion of Christ to an ancient episode in Exodus, a connection that challenges our understanding of both narratives. In the Gospel of John, Jesus makes a startling proclamation. Just as Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up, that everyone who believes may have eternal life in him. What moment in the Exodus story is Jesus drawing us to? How does it connect to the crucifixion? And what concealed truths about Jesus are unveiled through this profound connection? Prepare yourself to unravel the intricate symbolism and hidden meanings laced throughout the Bible's sacred narratives. To start, we journey back 3 millennia to the era of Moses. After breaking free from Pharaoh's oppressive rule and crossing the Red Sea, the Israelites find themselves adrift in a stark and unforgiving wilderness. More than 400 years of Egyptian domination have eroded the Israelites' sense of community and tradition, leaving them lost in the desert. Breaking free from tyranny doesn't lead straight to the Promised Land, and with their old world gone, they wander for 40 years. Lost in this void, they turn to worshipping idols, breaking into factions and fighting among themselves. Their leader, Moses, must constantly mediate disputes and keep the fractious community from degenerating into chaos. In exasperation, the Israelites spoke against God and against Moses and said, "Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness?" Then the Lord sent venomous snakes among them. They bit the people, and many Israelites died. Stricken by both the snakes and their own missteps, the Israelites plead with Moses to intercede with God to remove the venomous threat. And the Lord said to Moses, "Make a snake and put it up on a pole. Anyone who is bitten can look at it and live." Through this command, God imparts a profound lesson. By raising the bronze serpent for all to see, he compels the Israelites to confront their fears directly. It is not safety, but the courage to face their deepest fears that delivers healing. This connection threads directly to the Passion of Christ, a story that stands as the epitome of human anguish. Crucifixion wasn't merely execution, it was the zenith of human torment, designed to amplify suffering and terror to their ultimate extremes. Yet the real horror of the Passion story extends beyond the nails and wood. Jesus is betrayed by a trusted friend. His people, whom he came to serve, turn on him and manipulate a Roman official who dismisses truth out of fear. Ensnared by the ruthless machinery of the Roman Empire, Jesus faces a brutal death. Yet, the crowd demands the release of a known criminal over him, choosing the guilty over the innocent. And, in the prime of his life, Jesus, bruised and ridiculed, drags the cross, a symbol of his impending death, through a throng of bloodthirsty onlookers. This grim procession unfolds before he is nailed to that cross, enduring a slow, torturous death. By identifying himself with the serpent from Exodus, Jesus becomes a living embodiment of all the fears that haunt humanity. Just as the Israelites were commanded to gaze upon the serpent lifted on the pole, people are now called to look upon Jesus, whose body bears the full weight of human suffering and anguish. In this profound connection, he challenges us to confront and face our deepest fears through his ultimate sacrifice. But this story isn't solely about Jesus, it's about you. As a mother, you see yourself as Mary, having to let your child face a world full of suffering and loss. You're also Pontius Pilate, struggling with doubt, but opting for the path of least resistance to appease the crowd. You're Judas, betraying a friend. You're the angry mob, the criminal freed, the one who chooses safety over righteousness. Each scene an act of fear, horror and betrayal, reflecting the darkest corners of human soul. But it doesn't end there. Stare into the darkness long enough and you'll see the dawn of resurrection. The story goes beyond mere death. It reveals the triumph over it. The deeper you face the darkness, the more the light of salvation reveals itself. As followers of Christ, you represent the spiritual exodus, reliving the journey of the Israelites who escaped their oppressive past and now wander through a barren spiritual wasteland. You're pursued by a modern Pharaoh, Satan, furious at your escape from his dominion, hunting you relentlessly to drag you back into the chains of old enslavement. When you give in to his temptations and turn away from God, the venomous snakes of sin will strike at your soul. Yet, in the midst of this arid, desolate landscape stands a cross, bearing the Son of Man, who endured the ultimate burden for all. Look upon his suffering, and as your faith deepens, you'll be freed from the poison of sin, and you'll grasp the promise of salvation and eternal life.